We all love watching a great movie, and depending on your mood, you might want to watch a comedy, an action, or maybe even a horror. But sometimes, do you ever get in the mood to just watch a real emotional film and have a good cry? Well, today I'm going to be giving you guys my top 5 list of all movies with the saddest endings. Starting off with number 1, Hatchy, A Dog's Tale. This is the story of a music professor, Parker Wilson, who one day finds a lost puppy at a local train station and decides to take him in for one night. One night led to another, and no one actually came forward to claiming this little puppy. And as the days went by, Parker had found himself a companion. Every day on Parker's way to work, Hatchy would follow him to the train station before greeting him on his return. One day, sadly, Parker never quite returned from work as he suffered a fatal stroke while working. Hatchy then spent year upon year waiting for Parker to return, and one day, however, Hatchy passed away himself, still waiting for Parker to return at the train station. Hatchy is a very emotional movie based on a real life story, so definitely earned its spot on today's list. Moving on to the next movie here, we have indeed The Notebook. The Notebook is a classic love story with an ending that no one expected. This movie starts in a modern day nursing home where a man, Duke, is reading a romantic story to a patient.
I think I've heard it before.
Yes.
Perhaps more than once.
The story follows the life of Noah and Allie, two teens that have fallen in love in the 40s. In the heat of an argument, they break up and constantly try and get back together, but it's proven impossible due to a wide range of different things, including Allie's mum, who is intercepting letters Noah wrote to her.
I wrote you 365 letters. I wrote you every day for a year.
You wrote me?
Yes.
One day in the future, Allie, overwhelmed with memories of Noah, asks permission from the man she is about to marry to take a short trip. She returns to Noah finally, and they continue to live the rest of their lives together. Cutting back to the current, and we find that Allie is actually the woman in the nursing home, and she's sadly suffering with dementia. And the man is actually Noah, who's reading his very own diary to her every single day.
I didn't know what to do. I was afraid you were never coming back.
I'll always come back.
One day during the reading session, Allie becomes panicked, forcing medical professions to sedate her. Noah later suffers from a heart attack, leaving them both in the very same hospital. That night, Noah snuck into Allie's room and she remembered him in that moment. They shared a kiss, held hands, and fell asleep together. When the nurse comes in the following morning, she discovers they both died in their sleep, holding one another's hands. Next up on the list here, we do indeed have Bridge to Terabithia. Now, even though its main characters are children and it's a story for children based off a novel written in the 70s, this is definitely a very emotional film. Bridge to Terabithia follows Jess and his best friend Leslie through their imaginary fantasy world together. They go on so many incredible, breathtaking adventures, and they truly are the greatest of all friends.
See ya. Yeah, see ya.
However, one very sad day, heartbreak hits as Jess gets the news that Leslie was killed in an accident that involved the rope swing they used to play with.
Your friend Leslie's dead. She drowned in a creek this morning. Apparently she tried to swing across on a rope and it broke. They think she hit her head.
Jess was forced to grow up real fast to deal with the pain of losing his best friend, but managed to find some comfort within his own family, especially with his little sister, which as the movie ends we see them both being allowed to cross the bridge and enter Terabithia together. Next up on the list, we do indeed have an absolute classic, and that classic is indeed Titanic. Titanic is the story of Jack and Rose, a couple who fall in love while aboard the renowned ship the Titanic. The movie starts off with Jack, who managed to gamble his way into winning tickets to ride the cruise ship the Titanic. While aboard, he meets and falls in love with the young lady Rose, who is quite the opposite to him. Rose is very rich and engaged to a very wealthy yet violent man. that her mother wants her to marry. Rebelling and in love, her and Jack have great fun together. However, it gets cut short as the cruise ship suddenly hits a huge iceberg, experiencing all kinds of obstacles. Apart from the fact the obvious one that the boat is sinking, the couple manage to jump off together.
We're gonna make it, Rose! Trust me!
I trust you!
Jack, being the hero he was, gave Rose some wood to sit on so she could get out of the freezing cold water. Sadly, it didn't take long though before Jack actually froze to death, and Rose was left heartbroken by the time the rescue boats came. The film finished and we see Rose as an elderly lady, and she had never been in love again. And then the final film on today's list is indeed A Fault in Our Stars. This is indeed the story that follows two cancer patients, Hazel and Augustus, who meet in a support group and end up falling in love.
You gave me a forever. Within the numbered days. And for that I am eternally grateful.
Throughout the movie, Hazel goes through some really scary times with her health. However, Gus somewhat appears fine. Fearing for the worst for Hazel, the audience emotions get hit hard to find out that Gus's health worsens and ends up in ICU. Sadly, after a few days go by, Gus sadly passes away, leaving Hazel heartbroken. A Fault in Our Stars is just heartbreaking and definitely earns a place on today's list. So that is indeed going to be it for the top 5 saddest movie endings of all times. If you agreed with these, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, leave a comment down below what the saddest movie you've ever seen is, and make sure you subscribe for more videos like this one.